Well, Ann Coulter, of course, best-selling author, excellent columnist. You know, she's got this book, In Trump We Trust. This is the Donald Trump book. If you haven't read it, get it. In Trump We Trust. You go to AnnCoulter.com. You can get the book there. You can get her latest column there, AnnCoulter.com. And Ann Coulter, how you doing?
I think I'll have to change the name to In Trumpism We Trust.
Well, what does that mean? Is that good or bad? Is it...
the policies are very popular, but the magnitude of this Syrian meddling, the magnitude of this catastrophe cannot be underestimated. I've had a knot in my stomach seeing, since he's been filling up his administration with these warmongers and Wall Street types, and he starts on health care with his own version of Obamacare. Then he says he's turning to taxes. You know, if we wanted meddling in the Middle East, there were other candidates to vote for. Trump was very clear, and he was very right. And that's why Trumpism will live on, whether or not he believes it anymore. Trump was right. This is a tribal society. There's savages on both sides. We're not exactly on the side of the angels here. We're helping ISIS and Al-Qaeda in Syria. I mean, nobody's good over there, but at least Assad is secular and he protects the Christians. Nobody's checked with the Christians on the ground in Syria. They're terrified that they're just going to be wiped out if Assad is gone. But the main point is, as he said over and over and over again, including in that beautiful State of the Union address, including, I believe, in his inauguration address, he is running to be president of America, not to be president of the world. And when you see how thrilled the media are at Trump destroying his presidency over this, it just makes you sick. It's everything his opponents warned us about him. He's impulsive. He'll get us in a war. He's led by his advisors. Wow, this is not what people voted for.
But you can't allow a chemical attack on children with no response. This is the smallest possible response.
Of course you can. Of course you can. We let hundreds of thousands of Tutsis be slaughtered in Rwanda. No, the rest of the world isn't our problem. And moreover, this whole claim that this was a chemical attack by Assad, I've been reading the British press, who are highly skeptical of that claim. And it doesn't make any sense. It's like the Trump conspiracy theory. Why would Assad do this? To kill 75 people? He's winning against these Al-Qaeda insurgents, whom we are now performing the Air Force services for. He's winning against them. He's going to use chemical weapons to bring international condemnation on himself and kill 75 people. And moreover, and separately, I've never understood, what is the difference if you're killed with chemical weapons or with standard military armaments? You're dead just the same. Josh Wilkerson, beaten to death and burned to death by an illegal alien here in America, the country Trump ran to be president of, he is just as dead. He suffered horribly. But I guess we aren't going to have time for the wall, and we're not going to have time for any immigration policies because, we're at war in Syria. Now we'll get all the Syrian refugees. No, we may as well have had Jeb.
Well, now wait, I think you're getting a little carried away here. We will still have the wall. We'll still have all that. And we know it was
no. You can't expect him to deal with the wall when he's busy with the war in Syria.
It's not a war. It's the smallest possible response. We do know it was Assad's planes. They watched them take off in real time from that base. And
personnel is policy. He has a bunch of warmongers. All of the military contractors are happy. They're going to make a lot of money. Hey, could we use all the money we spent on those tomahawks on building the wall? How about that? We don't have money for the wall, but we sure have money to meddle in the Middle East. No president's meddling in the Middle East has ever turned out well. Have we learned nothing from Iraq? Hey, I have an idea. Since we already spent billions of dollars to liberate Iraq, how about we finish that job before we start, cleaning up Syria like we did with Iraq? Because that worked out great.
All right. Well, you have a point there, but we better change the subject. Something happy. Let's get to Neil Gorsuch. He'll be confirmed today, right?
That's the one teeny tiny good news, and it's so pathetic that this is what the straws we have to grasp for. Yes, and this, it is worth saying that this nuclear option they all talk about. All this is what the Constitution requires. The Constitution expressly anticipates a majority vote, not only on judges, on legislation, on everything. The Constitution explicitly identifies only 5 instances in which 2/3 majority is required. Expulsion, impeachment, treaties, overriding a presidential veto, and to pass a constitutional amendment. Now, why would the Constitution say, okay, you pass a law, House passes law, gets passed by the Senate, goes up to the president vetoes it. Now, to override that veto, the Constitution says you need a 2/3 vote. But we're supposed to believe that it took a 2/3 vote to get it there in the first place.
Wow.
No, this was a ridiculous Senate rule, and this is not because Republicans are in power. It's because I can read, and I think the framers of the Constitution were smarter than we were. It should always be a majority vote. This is what, and the worst thing is the way it's justified is, the Senate's the greatest deliberative body in the world. No, they're not deliberating anything. Now it's just a pink slip they put in, or a blue slip, whatever they call them. You don't even have to filibuster anymore. If we're going to have debate, make them go to the floor and filibuster. But no, now it's just minority rules.
And Coulter, you're not happy today.
I'm very, very, very unhappy.
You're not your usual cheerful self.
This is why you're not supposed to hire your kids.
Oh.
Even JFK, Bobby Kennedy was an impressive person, and yet the media managed to take its nose out of JFK's butt long enough to criticize JFK for one thing. What did they go crazy over? Hiring his brother. Yeah. So you can't fill up your administration with your family members.
So who would you throw out of the White House right now? Give us 4 people.
Everyone except Stephen Miller, Jeff Sessions, and Steve Bannon.
So Reince Priebus gone.
No, I keep him. He's fine. The generals are a disaster. I've been warning you this forever. Trump seems to think generals today are like Patton. They aren't like Patton. In order to become a general, I mean, look at somebody like Michael Hayden on TV, and you know what I'm talking about. To become a general today, you have to be confirmed by the Senate. All of you reflect on this. What do Republicans ask when the military sends up a general? Well, does the military recommend him, and what has he done? Has he been heroic? Okay, we'll take him. What do Democrats ask? What has he done to promote transgenderism in the military? That's why all generals are ridiculous. You look at it, you scratch any of them. Plus which, the famous Sidney Hook line, to a man with a hammer, all the world is a nail. What do the military guys want to do? They just it makes them so happy to go on TV and talk about the tomahawks. Can we get back to Trump being the president of America and not the president of the world?
Oh, my God. You better sit down and have an aspirin or something.
Oh, I'm so depressed.
I know. I never heard you this bad.
When this happened, I got in, and that's it.
I've never heard you this upset. This is not the regular cheerful you.
Well, this isn't what he ran on. This isn't the president we voted for. If we wanted, a neocon warmonger who would ignore the border, we could have voted for Jeb. We could have voted for Rubio.
Well,
and by the way, I've been retweeting his own tweets and his own statements. He was very, very clear that we shouldn't go into Syria, and he was right. He said they're bad on both sides. We're going to be enabling ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Assad is fighting ISIS. It will create a refugee crisis. We'll have to take all these Syrian refugees. Everything he said about it was right. And now you're telling me he saw a sad picture on TV? That's what his aides are saying. Oh, well, he watches TV. Well, can we put some pictures on TV of all the Americans slaughtered, raped, physically deformed by illegal aliens storming into the country?
Well, all right, but listen, it's a learning experience. There's growing pains. It'll take. Well, this is his Bay of Pigs. JFK learned his lesson from that, and that was it.
Well, let's hope he learns. The media is delighted. They think Trump is wrecking his presidency, and they could not be happier. I've never seen the Trump haters so happy. Fareed Zakaria said, tonight Trump became a president.
Well,
do you need to know anything else?
yeah, that's true. Fareed Zakaria, who they always call the Muslim Al Sharpton, one of the crazy.
Sharpton smarter.
Yeah, it's Sharpton without the charm. Well, everybody check out AnnCoulter.com, and you can get her latest column there. And always follow Ann Coulter on Twitter and Ann Coulter at Facebook. Are you on Instagram? You're not on Instagram yet.
No, everyone tells me I should be, but that's photos, right?
Yeah. Twitter is perfect for you. It's one of the best accounts on Twitter.
I love Twitter.
Yeah, Ann Coulter Twitter. And, of course, go to AnnCoulter.com and get her book, In Trump We Trust. Do it now before she pulls it off the market. In Trump We Trust.
Trumpism we still trust in.
All right, and go to AnnCoulter.com.
Hey, Trump should read that book.
He has. He used to hold it up during
He should be reminded of what made him great.
That's true. Oh, actually, his Adios America used to hold up, but he loves your books. So, In Trump We Trust. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Take care.